What's going on, everybody? James from Next Level Gaming, and welcome to another episode of the Level Up Podcast. I got the boys here with me today, and we've got a fun episode for you guys. We are going to be talking about the future of gaming, maybe 10 years down the road, 15, or even 20. So, JS, just jump us right into this bad boy. Let's go. I know you're itching to talk about it. So
I can see it in his eyes.
He's going.
I'm a futurist at heart. I've been obsessed about what the future has in store for us for a very long time. In terms of gaming, revolutionary. I think video games in general, and maybe the concept of video games will even change. No longer will it be like this static, like first-person shooter or RPG and stuff like that. Not that it's static, because there's so many different types already. But I think it'll morph. It'll morph into like more real-world scenarios, right? And like you'll have this this complication between what is actually a video game now and what is more like, just a simple excursion into the jungles, right? Via virtual reality and stuff like that. Like, does that constitute video games? What about living on Mars, like we talked about in the last podcast? Does that constitute a video game? Not really, but that's generally where I see this going, right? Is that
we're going to Mars to play video games.
Yeah, well, maybe, but it's like
while sitting in our computer chairs.
Yeah, I mean, think of it this way, right? Like exponential growth of technology, you can almost predict where you're going to be, technologically speaking, in terms of like computing power, processing power, memory, all that stuff. You can almost guarantee where it is going to be with Moore's Law in the next 30, 20, 15 years, right? So that being said, when you start looking at like what are the capabilities, what can you do with this technology, it gets shockingly powerful very, very quickly. And I think virtual reality is the way to go, right? Like, where else would it lead? I mean, they've already made so much progress in virtual reality. Remember when virtual reality first came out?
Yeah.
Like
the Virtual Boy?
No,
like
Virtual Game Boy?
When the first ideas of like the Oculus started popping up.
Yeah, like what,
Google Cardboard and...
Sure, like 10 years ago, whatever.
God, it's been 10 years. Oh God.
Yeah, and it was like so rudimentary, right? Like unbelievably rudimentary. It looked like you were playing Pong back in the fucking 60s, right? That's how stunted it was. But they're pulling from all their other resources from our current information and our ability to use technology to make that trend go even faster, right? So within a very short time, only 10 years, as opposed from like Pong in the 60s to now, which took obviously 40 years, give or take. You now have massive growth that only took 10 years. So if you look at like current gen graphics for virtual reality, you start thinking, oh shit, this isn't too far off. They're going to get to a point pretty quickly where you're not going to know the difference between being in a VR world and being outside of it. It's funny because I just watched this video the other day about it's like it shows a picture of a landscape, right? And in the very center of trees on the landscape is a small little black dot, okay, with a white circle around it. You can't really even see it that well once you start looking at this picture, right? The sky is like a weird orange hue of orange, and the ground is and the forest and trees are all a weird hue of blue. And it says, stare at this black dot in the center of the screen.
Oh, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, did you? Oh my God, it's unbelievable. So you stare at this black dot for like 30 seconds, and as the video is talking, it's like you'll notice the colors in the background around the black dot start naturally fading out as your eyes naturally adjust to the colors, right, around the black dot. And then the screen changes, and everything's in black and white. But you don't see black and white. You see a pitch blue sky, you see perfect green trees, and the second you look away from that black dot, you see black and white again. The eyes are easy to trick, right? We've always known that. But when you trick the eyes, you can trick the other senses into believing where you are, right? You can trick the other senses into thinking and imagining different locations, and they feel fucking real.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it reminds me of the very first time I tried VR. I don't remember the game it was, but I remember there being like there was a table in the center of the room. Right, in the actual game, and like my brain, like seeing this table in front of me, like I can't walk through this. Wait a second, can I walk through this?
Yeah.
I can't walk through this.
It takes a mental effort to be like, this isn't real. Like, imagine you put a VR on, right? And there's like some kind of serious danger in front of you, right? Like a giant pit with lava bubbling. And it's like, you got to tell yourself, this isn't real, man. You can walk right over top of it and nothing will happen.
Oh, yeah. It's slowly become my favorite to watch people play horror games with VR.
Oh, yeah, it's fun.
Because
it's exciting.
It's terrifying.
Excuse me. Yeah, it's interesting, right? What's that? You guys remember that shit? What's it called? Black Mirror?
Yeah.
Remember that episode when they had like the augmented reality and those guys were playing Striking Vipers? That game, that fighting game? And it got a little intense after that, but like, think of shit like that. Like,
no, I have to, though.
Yeah,
I was even thinking of that old movie. It's starring Gerard Butler, and I think it came out in 2008. Gamer,
yeah. Like, we're all playing
like that.
100% you're all playing that.
That's kind of different in a way, right? That's like a human is like connecting to another human being, right? Yeah. And taking control of that human being.
No, but it's like the idea, like when you
the concept is the
gaming rigs.
But how do you know it's not going to get to that point down the road too, right? 20 years.
Buddy, they're going to get me on a treadmill so fast.
The dystopian kind of thing.
Yeah, if I controlled Brendan, I would put him on a treadmill for right away.
Absolutely.
What do you hate more in life? Yeah. No, man. If anything, I do. But like, why would you bother? Why would you bother connecting someone, like going into someone else's head, unless for like a prank or a joke or something, right?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point? You're gonna have access to like high quality virtual reality, like really fucking high quality, so high that you don't know the difference. In fact, there'll probably be some way to trigger, some way to tell you this is fake, like a little flashing light in the top right corner, just so you know the difference. Yeah, you're okay. Everything's fine. Relax.
But it's like we talked about last week, like we briefly touched on it. It's like you're going to be able to do and go anywhere you want with like just putting on that headset eventually, right? Maybe like you're saying 5-10 years. I could see that 10 years down the road, but like they're getting close. I guess Oculus is probably the front runner of, who would be, groundbreaking that going down the road. I don't know who else really. Like, I don't see Sony doing it.
I know that HTC was doing a really good job with the phone.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting.
I think like every kind of video game and every generation and stuff like that, there's this game that comes along just fucking blows out of the water, and you're like, holy shit! Like, for me, it was like Battlefield 3 when that shit first came out. And that leak was like, I remember playing that, being like, what? This is insane, right?
Yeah. Like
such a shocking, massive growth in your expectations as a gamer, and you sit down and play this game for the first time, and you're like, wow, like what Cyberpunk could have been, right? I know we talk about that game a lot, but imagine if Cyberpunk was perfect and you sat down and you're just like, wow, this is mind blowing. Like,
but you're gonna be able to play. You're gonna be able to play Battlefield in VR.
But that's what I mean. Right? So in like 10 years, I think you're gonna have that one game that some studio is just like way ahead of the curve, and they're like, check this game out, and everyone just goes fucking nuts.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because like Half-Life Alyx is like almost that game for a lot of people with VR. Like, I have a buddy who's bugging me. I don't own a VR headset or anything, but he's been bugging me for ages to just pick up like a cheap Oculus or like a used HTC or anything like that just to play Half-Life Alyx. Like, he will not shut up about it. And that game, I mean, I've seen gameplay for it. I won't spoil the whole game for myself by watching it, but like, people are saying like that is a masterpiece of VR. Like, it's arguably, or at least definitively in some people's minds, the best VR game that you can play right now.
Wasn't it like a runner-up for Game of the Year?
I think so.
Half-Life.
Yeah,
I think it was in the. Yeah, I think it was like one of the 5. Wasn't
I'm not
it?
sure.
I don't know. I could be confused. I wrote something about it, but yeah, you ever see those? You ever see those videos, just like medieval VR games, stuff like that?
Yeah.
I love that.
I like
the screen, and the guy's holding his head, just smashing into a
it's
wall
called
over and over again. There's blood everywhere, and he's like fucking dying.
The most popular one, I think it's called Blade and Sorcery or something like that.
Yeah, that's what
And
I think it is. Yeah,
you can mod it to have lightsabers and like different kind of things. Like so you can mod it so that Darth Vader will walk out and you can fight Darth Vader.
I like the one, like, what did I see? It was like guys at a bar and you're just going around fighting people, and then just like it's over the top, like this guy. It's like all cartoony graphics, right? But he's picking up a bottle and he just fucking bottles the bartender, starts pouring his own drink. Like,
yeah, there was a very early one that was like it was like a zombie shooter, but you can only shoot the zombies if you were drunk. So you're sitting at a bar counter, right? And you have your gun, and then every once in a while in the game. Everyone, you can be drunk in real life.
Prerequisite. You got to do a breathalyzer.
Basically, what they would do is
You make sure that you're good to go.
you
Yeah.
really feel drunk because every few seconds you have to turn around, take 5 shots with the controller, and it would blur your screen. Right, so your eyes are sitting here thinking my vision's blurry. So all of a sudden you start to feel drunk, and you have to shoot zombies through the blurry.
If I played on a Friday night, I would just be blind.
Pretty much.
Mario Kart VR.
Yeah.
But drunk.
Oh, there is a Mario Kart VR, man. There is a Mario Kart VR where they're playing.
I'm in. I'll pay
Battle Royale
right now.
Battle Royale, and they're driving, and the kid like lifts his hand up in the air and grabs like a shell. And then fucking throws it to the left, right? Like smashes someone and takes a balloon.
Yeah,
like,
I'd like to see Twisted Metal VR.
That'd be.
It was called. I found it. It's called Drunk or Dead.
Drunk or Dead. Check that out. I don't know, man. There's like some crazy shit we do. The first thing I'd ever do when it gets to the point, I'm going to Vegas with a stack of like $1 million, and I'm just gonna hit the roulette wheel. You know, just fucking go.
Is that gaming anymore? No, that's just like
that's gambling.
Do that in
the future is now. Gamble in Vegas.
I'm gonna say right now,
partying with like
GTA.
Yeah, that's true, but it's not the same. I don't want to be like in there. You know,
do first-person mode, throw it on a VR headset or something like that.
Well, that'd be cool. Like this case. So I wrote an article a while ago, and maybe this could actually tie into it. But it was about PlayStation Home. You guys remember PlayStation Home?
Yeah.
And I thought for the new PS5, how cool would it be if they set up like a legitimate fucking PS5 home and include the virtual reality environment, so people could walk around this virtual environment, and they could go into all the little side stores and shops and see their games, but they could also turn it into a real purchasing store. Like you walk into, you tie your credit card in there, and you're in this store, virtual reality, and you go to the Sony store, and you're like, wow, that's a sweet looking TV. Or give me this game. Yeah, you go to a game store, and you're like, I want that. Collect, and then it says, do you actually want this game? Check mark, yes, on the way, shipping, right?
Yeah.
You could do that in your Vegas thing too, right? And it's like you could bring your own fucking money in there, and you could be surrounded by real people in the virtual reality, gambling your actually own your real money.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah,
I want fucking fake money, so I can do.
We're slowly predicting this as we're further locked into COVID.
Yeah. That's the real problem here. We shouldn't be talking about this while we're all strung out.
We just want this. We just want this to happen now, so we can fucking leave here.
Guys, VR strip club, like so close-minded.
Think of the possibilities, and we're locked into VR strip club.
Baby.
Would you like to hire her in real life?
Yes,
shipped via Amazon.
Yeah.
Prime free shipping.
Yeah. But that's where I see it going. I mean, like, why would you? I mean, there's got to be some. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of like old school gamers who are going to be still on the couch, you know, or on the computer, PC playing. But like in the end, it has nowhere else to go. Like,
so would you guys say that phones are going to play a bigger role going forward with, especially with VR and stuff, and how easy it is to just install like a VR app and throw on a headset that holds your phone? I mean, obviously it's not, you know, the same experience as wearing an HTC or anything like that, but like, are mobile games also going to be the future of gaming?
Well, if you really think about it, it's like when you start talking about 10, 15, 20 years in the future, are we really going to have this, like the concept of an actual handheld phone anymore?
Yeah, that's
like
true.
Really? Or is it going to be a contact lens in your eye, projecting?
Yeah,
right? Yeah. Exactly. Like that's where it's all going. It's all becoming more user-friendly. More like HUD-like, I think. And obviously, I like to think that it's going to become more connected to the environment around you. And I remember watching this TED Talk a long time ago about how the future of technology will hope to repair that separation that we created when we developed technology for the first time. We started moving away from the real and entering into the world of technology. You know, you don't look around you anymore. You look at your fucking cell phone, right? You like lock yourself away. So the concept of this TED Talk was the future of technology will move us into that space that we had left behind. It'll merge the technology with the surroundings, like the things around us now, so we can participate in them more, right? So you're no longer disconnected. You're hyper connected to what's going around you. So I mean that, like, in terms of cell phones and shit, like that's probably where it'll end up being, just hyper connected to around you. Like,
so the HoloLens.
Whatever.
HoloLens.
That's probably
it's still going. Microsoft's still doing it.
Google Glasses, HoloLens.
Yeah, Microsoft just sold a shit ton of it to the U.S. military.
Did they? Yeah. But even with the mobile gaming, like you're seeing it more now with like Project X Cloud and all that shit going on there. In terms of VR, I don't see. I could see people obviously, throwing on like a mini headset through their phone, because you can still do that now. But I don't see it to that extreme where, we're talking like you're saying Oculus and HTC and those guys where, you're sitting there with like a $3,000 fucking crazy headset on your head and you're going to worlds that you've never thought you'd ever be in, right? And in VR. But no, definitely I can honestly see in the next 10 years there won't be any consoles and everything is going to be going to some sort of like streaming kind of pay and play kind of thing. Maybe, but it's already starting now, right? Like it's already starting now.
You still kind of need the console to provide the stream, right? In the first place, like think about Sony's what's it called again? Sony's PSVR.
PlayStation Now. Oh,
PlayStation
PSVR.
Now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's like you still need the console to connect to, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's for VR, but I'm talking like like Stadia streaming.
Yeah,
like that's what I'm talking about. So like you're gonna have high-end TVs where that are like almost like Android machines and shit that will be able to just play whatever you want down the road, and you won't even have a console. Like Microsoft could release a TV partnered with Samsung or whoever the hell it is, and it's just meant for gaming, streaming services and gaming. But I can see that like way. I hope I'll always be pro console and all that stuff like that.
Why?
Just because we grew up like that, right? I guess so. Maybe that's we're that old school kind of gamer. But
I'm pro physical media. I just don't want to, like even with Game Pass. Like I love Game Pass as a service, but I could tell you the number of times where I started playing a game, kind of got sidetracked with it, and then Game Pass removed it from Game Pass. So now I can't play it anymore unless I buy a digital copy. I mean, I could also buy a physical copy if a physical copy exists and resume my progress, but like I still don't have the option to just continue playing it via the download/stream service.
Yeah.
And like even with the PS3 and the Vita now kind of dying, like the aftermarket for those games has skyrocketed. Like I literally was just talking to Nick about how I've been playing the old PS3 Ratchet and Clank games because they're going up in value significantly for the PS3 now that the announcement of the store closing, and they're cheaper on the store to buy digitally, sure, but I can download them again later, but how long before Sony removes that service where you can't download all your own content anymore? Yeah. And then I'm just out to lunch. I lost all my digital games that I can't play anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that might happen anyways. So you're talking about digital games, you might not be able to play your digital games anymore if they come out with a console that doesn't have the what I mean?
That's why I don't want that to happen. I don't like the idea of Stadia.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting concept. It obviously didn't really take off. It's doing well, I guess. I'm not, I haven't followed it too much because I don't really care about it. But I think because this generation of gamers, you're going to see some more streaming services down the road, right? So,
it makes sense. So what can we say then? In 10 years, maybe not like Google Glasses and shit, where video games are being projected onto your contacts or glasses, something like that. But I do think that virtual reality systems will take over. Yes, they're probably going to be obviously like no hard disk, right? You're not going to have a hard disk. It's all going to be streamed, right, live. Like that just makes sense, right? It's easier for them, and they make more money off of it as well.
Yeah.
Right? Why give you a hard copy that you can play forever?
And
why build a dishwasher that lasts forever when you can
build one that lasts 5
years
every
4 years?
Yeah, that's true, right?
I was gonna say, do we even see like the PS5 and the Series X being the home console in 10 years time? Because it's fair to say that a console shelf life is usually about a decade. I mean, the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One were about 9 years?
8 years, 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
But even then, I even see you're gonna see your base console and then like a Pro or a Pro, like, and it's just gonna get shorter and shorter the window between technology, because people are like, now, like, give me fucking something new, give me the new iPhone, give me the new, like, I want it now, give me a new console. There's people on Twitter and all this shit that are, when's the PS5 Pro coming out, or when's the Xbox Series X Pro? Fuck, consoles haven't even been out for 6 months yet. You already want something more, like, new?
I think there'll always be people like that. And that's fine and good. But the reality is that, like, as you guys already know, like, we haven't even come close to hitting the potential of a PS5. Like,
not even close. Not even close.
So like they don't build them every 10 years because they don't want the money. They build them every 10 years because they only want leaps in generational technology, you know, to be their byproduct. So they want to wait until something that matters comes out that they can make a difference and actually compete. At least that's what I think, right? So yeah, I mean, it could be 10 years, right? 10 years until the next generation, and what that generation looks like the PS6, etc. Like honestly, like it's probably going to be some form of VR, right? I can't imagine it's not like hyper focused towards VR.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and up until then, like 8 years from now, maybe it's VR that piggybacks off the PS5. Like, I don't think that's all going to happen that quick. Like, it'll take a little bit of time for that trend to continue. But, like, for anyone who has used virtual reality before, like, it's shocking how much fun it can be. And it's still in its infancy. It's still in its baby form. Yeah. Like, when it develops and it becomes, like, you know what I mean, real and sensitive and stuff like that, like, it's going to dominate.
Yeah,
exactly.
I can't see any other way. What about, like, 30, 40 years from now?
I don't know, man.
I want to see augmented reality.
Everyone's gonna be like this.
I don't want, like, I think virtual reality is cool.
Fucking cracked
I think
cracked out.
The minute that we can put on a pair of glasses and it will change what we see in front of us versus throw us into a world.
Yeah,
that's where I want like augmented reality.
The reality stone.
The big question is, will Rogers be delivering high enough internet speeds at that point?
That's the thing. Yeah, but
no, we're all going to be using Starlink by that point.
Yeah.
Wow,
Elon Musk will own Earth.
We have 5G now, baby.
It's causing COVID, apparently.
It's causing COVID. It's causing
keep the politics at the door, James. We lost half our viewers.
Yeah, already
down to
3.
Avoid the C word because YouTube doesn't like the algorithm on that.
Yeah.
No, it's 40 years. Like, well, fuck. First of all, we'll probably most of us will be fucking dead. Oh, maybe not. We'll be in our 70s, right? I'll be in my 70s.
I'll be in my 60s.
I'll be in my.
Don't even.
Don't pay attention to the person breaking into your house.
Is that your brother?
Zoom in hands.
Is that your brother? He's like, what's up?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I guess.
Yo, just put a Delicio in the oven. You want some?
Just bring me a slice. My wife had just come down to it. I'm like,
I hope, man. I hope.
Bring me a slice. I'm ordering pizza.
I'm not gonna lie. I want Domino's.
Oh, Domino's. But yeah, I don't know.
Future
man,
of gaming
years.
is the KFC console. I'm saying it right now.
The KFC console was such a good PR. Ever end up releasing it or the joke one?
No.
I have no. Yeah, I have no.
It was essentially it was a console that could run games, but it could also cook chicken.
Yeah,
and keep your chicken warm.
That's right.
Keep the chicken warm.
That is the future of gaming I want to see, where I can reach into my console and pull out a nice blend of 16 herbs and spices.
They certainly know their demographic. Okay?
Oh yeah.
Original
recipe,
what
do they want? What do they really want?
Popcorn,
shitty
chicken.
food, ready, available, and gaming. Great.
Yeah,
Let's make a console.
Well, Wendy's is going to retaliate with a console shaped like their box of fries, but it actually delivers Frosty.
Ooh, I'm down.
It's an ice cream machine on top of being a console.
Yeah, McDonald's will put one out, but it never works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 40 years would be interesting. 100% I would love to see augmented reality, but I could see augmented reality in the next 15 years.
Yeah.
And I'm totally down for that because I'd just be like, click.
Is there a wall that we hit eventually with that kind of technology?
I don't know, man.
No.
Think back to when you were
really.
fucking 10 years old and you're playing whatever you're playing. I'm 10 years old. I'm playing Nintendo, and then I'm like, that shit was awesome. And then now you're playing games on your Series X or PS5, whatever it is, right? And then think of just regular VR, some of the games that are out now are pretty mind blowing. And even
actually, you bring up. Go ahead.
And it's just other shit. Think of anything for that matter. Movies, whether it's pornography and stuff like that, has come a long way from when we were
wow.
You know what I mean? Well, think of VR. VR is fucking being developed and shit for porn as well too, and it's more advanced in the porn industry than it is in gaming. If you want to compare them. That's what I think. If you've seen some of the shit you can do with VR with porn.
I do agree that we'll see some bleed over to other entertainment industries. I can 100%. See movies becoming virtual reality. Imagine watching Star Wars in VR. That would be insane.
Yeah.
But why just porn? entertainment. Like, I think VR is going to go much further than that. Talk about
No,
like
for sure.
But think
a
about
boardroom
like,
meeting between executives. Like,
oh,
you
that
think
are
they're
across the
actually
world.
going to fly?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they'll just VR
literally,
in, maybe,
like
right?
it would literally be like Star Wars at that point, like where everyone's in a
Holograms.
different place, hologrammed in.
Yeah.
Instead of the future of gaming, we should just title this like the future of when the fuck does this turn into the Matrix?
Yeah. When does that happen?
Oh, when
do
did
you all
how do
turn
you know
into
it's
Neo?
not already?
Yeah, that's true. How do you know?
Well, hey, Elon Musk theory. You guys ever hear about his theory?
No,
Probably something
It's not
crazy.
his theory.
no.
Sorry,
It's
shouldn't
I
say
think he
it's his
said
theory,
something
but
along the lines of, "There's no way we're not in a simulation."
the concept is this. It's like, because I find it to be really interesting, so I'm not sure if you guys are interested,
part
but it
of
is
the
about
future,
future,
maybe.
so it's on topic. But the concept is the universe has been around for 14 billion years, give or take, right? And the
Mhm.
Earth has been around for 4 billion years, and we've been using technology for the last 200,000 years plus, right? How far we've come in 200,000 years. And something happened relatively recently in technology. We were able to create in a virtual environment. We were able to create a perfectly realistic nanometer by a nanometer square of space time in virtual reality, and that it incorporates all the laws of physics, all the natural laws, all the, you know what I mean, the laws of the macro to the micro, with pull on gravity and radiation and all that stuff. We were able to create a small little subset of space, which is more like saying if you took something really, really tiny and you threw it in there, it wouldn't know that it was in a fake environment, even if it had all the testing available to it.
Oh yeah,
it would be confused and it wouldn't know that it was in fake. It was in a computer system. And so the theory goes that in the next 100 years, we're going to be able to turn that nanometer into a millimeter. And then 100 years from there, it'll be an actual meter of virtual reality space that so perfectly resembles real space time that if I put you inside, you would not be able to tell the difference. And this trend goes on and on and on. And so in 1 billion years, give or take, or 100 million years, you're going to have the potential, just based on natural laws of computing power and exponential growth, to recreate an entire universe where all the laws that we witness every day in physics and quantum mechanics and macro and the micro are perfect, and no one would be able to tell the difference. And so the theory is that in 14 billion years, some motherfucking civilization out there, or even longer, because it's our universe, but our universe could be fake, so it could be trillions of years, right? Someone out there has reached this point that we will inevitably reach. Humankind will reach the point where we can recreate a fake universe. In 1 million years. We'll be able to do it. That means someone else must have beaten us to the punch and done it themselves. And the odds state that there's a 99.99999% chance that we are just in a simulation from another species that created it millions or billions of years ago.
Wow.
Those are the odds. And it's like astronomically high. So Elon Musk comes out with a tweet and says, yeah, we are. Like, there's no way we're not.
Yeah,
always wanted existential dread at 26.
It's fantastic, isn't it, Brendan?
I'm gonna go party right now.
I'm not gonna lie. The very first thing I thought of when you said "little cube of reality" is fucking. This is gonna be a Canadian thing. The reboot.
Reboot will return after these messages.
the black cube would drop from the sky, and everyone in the cube would go into the game.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Reboot was the shit.
Yeah,
man.
maybe we are in a fucking simulation. That's pretty interesting, eh?
Well, I mean, that's like some very smart minds say it's a high possibility, but what does it fucking matter at the end? It's kind of like God, right?
There's
it's
no way
like
to prove it. Yeah.
Yeah, like does it change anything? No. Like, just keep living your life, enjoy it, because the rules are still there. The rules are still apply. There's still physical laws and natural laws, so you can't.
That's wild. So
it's interesting.
Reminds me of Rick and Morty at this point. The one episode where he goes into his little battery and it's a whole civilization.
Yeah, and then the
smartest person of that simulation is going into a battery that he's created.
And they smash it, and you're just like trillions of lives lost. So funny. I gotta watch that show again. Classic.
All right, before we shut this episode down, let's go around the circle here and just give one hot take of what do you think is going to happen, and we'll just say 20 years from now in gaming. Brandon, go.
I'm gonna say that HoloLens will be incorporated into almost every facet of gaming, and gaming will be no longer just sitting on a couch with a controller. It will be a full body interactive experience.
JS, what you got?
Well, I thought Nick said something interesting earlier about how, like, is there a limit to this? Like, do we hit a wall? And it's like, once you create, like, let's say it's all virtual reality with a skin suit on and you can feel, touch, hear, see, taste, everything. Once that becomes so lifelike that, you know, like you're seeing, like the human eye can only see at a certain, you know, amount of pixels anyway. It's like, you guys know that a modern cell phone has more pixels on it than the human eye can even see. Like there's
exactly.
There's more quality on there than we can actually tell. So you're gonna hit a wall eventually where it's like, yeah, it's like, cool, you want to be Iron Man, be Iron Man. You want to be space, you know, whatever.
Space Marine?
No, yeah,
Space Marine,
Space Marine.
Starship
Sure.
Troopers?
You want to be on the Enterprise? Like, go ahead. That's great. But eventually, you'll hit a wall where you're just kind of like bored of it all, and there's so many other things going. So maybe not 20 years, but maybe in 40, 50 years, gaming suddenly goes from like here back down, and people just see less value in it. Because when you can do anything and be anything, sometimes it loses its appeal, I would say. And other things, you know, and humanity will reach a level where bigger fish will need to be fried, and so maybe we just, you know, transcend the world of video games and actually go live life
and party.
You know, no, well, I don't know. It's interesting,
Party
but
in
yeah,
Vegas.
20 years. Yeah, I agree with Brandon. We'll be, you know, sitting on our couch for hopefully not too long every day, connecting to a world that any world that you want to be in, which is really cool if you think about.
Nick, what you got, buddy?
I'd be interested if in a perfect world in 20 years to have the idea of like less of virtual reality, we're more of like, remember, I don't know if anyone you remember the cartoon, but the Mega Man cartoon.
Yes.
When they actually made a cartoon about it, and it's just like everyone had their little things, and they could jack in their little personality. Everyone had like a little personal AI. I honestly think, I think something along those lines, or like even if the idea of
like a Jarvis for everyone.
I think the step forward from you, the wall that you pass is, instead of just feeling all that stuff, is injecting your, like, essentially using the electrical signals of your brain to actually experience that. Like you inject yourself into the world.
Yeah, well, like supposedly, and this is something yeah. For anyone who's listening, go look at the site futureTimeline.net. I believe it's now net. Fantastic, and it gives you cited and sourced evidence of what the future looks like as to the best guesstimate that we have as a species. And it's all laid out really pretty. So like it goes like 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 50, 100, 1,000, a million, 10 million, a billion, a trillion, and it goes all the way to something like 13 with like 10 zeros behind a trillion years from now, and it says like the last
when the sun explodes.
No, when everything is done, like the whole universe is dark and dead and empty, and the last neutrinos are flying through space, but they'll never make contact with anything again. So for all intents and purposes, the universe is dead. Heavy shit. Don't get me wrong. It is. Yeah. And it's like trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of years now. But if you go into like the next 100 years or 200 years, it's really fucking interesting. Like what scientific evidence suggests based on trends where we'll be. And that's one of them, is like transferring your consciousness into something else that can, like, if you want to dive into a volcano, you'll be able to. Your skin will be able to handle it. You want to swim in the ocean with no pressure and not have to breathe? Yeah, you'll be able to do it. No problem.
For the anime fans, it's going to be really scary to relive Sword Art Online in real life. When someone just decides, all right, all these people.
Just looking forward to all the creepy dudes who are going to smell me.
You're just going to smell your fingers, smell your bum. It's just it's interesting. I don't know, man. I hope traditional gaming in the next 20 years doesn't go away, like console gaming and stuff, because I guess we're kids at heart and I love gaming. I love having a console, but I can honestly see it, like, you know, going with Brandon, like HoloLens, or even like some crazy augmented reality where, you know, there's no console anymore. completely gone. And it's just a different, breed of gaming where it's like you're going to Vegas or you're storming the beaches somewhere in Normandy, whatever it is, or you're like, Battlefield, shit like that. It's gonna be that kind of gaming.
We're starting to hit a point where most of the younger generation doesn't remember anything about the World Wars. So I don't know if you're storming the beaches of Normandy anytime soon.
Yeah, that's true. Storming.
Well, it's an educational experience.
Yeah.
So for history class, you're all going to plug into the VR and actually storm Normandy.
Yeah.
If you like to learn
crazy,
about history,
that'd be fucking
this
cool.
is not a plug.
Yeah. But think
My
about
hot
the
take.
Star Citizen's coming out in the next 20 years.
But even think about so we didn't even touch about this. I'll just quickly touch on it. Think of augmented reality or some crazy VR where you've got a bodysuit on. And you're going into a scenario where you're getting shot at, and it's just you're getting that you're mimicking that pain. So you get shot, you're feeling that fucking pulse, that electric pulse. That shit would be pretty crazy, right?
But think about this too, right? You're gonna have a whole subclass of people who are turn pain on, bitches. I ain't no bitch. I'm turning the pain all the way to max.
Turn the pain all the way to max.
Who knows?
I've actually gotten shot, being that's not how it feels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
It's going to be wild the next 20, 30, 40 years, whatever it is. But this was a good chat, boys. Hopefully we're still around the next 40 years, so we can maybe we'll do another podcast 40 years down the road.
Hey, I will be at least.
So morbid.
But we got our VR. We got our VR headsets. And we're still looking young. We're still looking young, in our 30s.
Plugging into a dilapidated building, there's zombies outside and all kinds of horror. We're we were wrong. We were so wrong.
You shouldn't have listened. You shouldn't have watched podcast episode 4. But no, good chat, boys. That's a wrap for this bad boy. So thank you guys for tuning in. Smash the like button, subscribe, and give us your thoughts in the comments on what you think gaming is going to be, whether it's going pure VR, augmented reality, HoloLens, stuff like that. Would love to hear some feedback from you guys, the viewers. But thanks for tuning in. I'm James with the rest of the boys here, and thanks for tuning in to the Level Up Podcast. We'll catch you guys later.
Peace.
Let's go.
Peace.